Welcome to the Epic Podcast, your elopement photographer inspiration compass. I'm your host, Sheryl Anne, elopement photographer, former Navy officer, and proud mama. This is where adventure and destination elopement photographers come to get inspired, connect, and keep learning. If you're ready to reach new heights and find your true north, you're in the right place. Stay epic. Hey friends, welcome back to the Epic Podcast. I'm your host, Sheryl Anne. Last week I shared what Epic was all about and the vision behind this podcast. But this week, this episode is getting to know me as your host. It's a super fun episode because it is literally filmed out in the field in Mount Rainier National Park. My best friend Michaela and I had just finished this long hike and location scouting, and we found this gorgeous place and decided to film there. So it was pretty fun. I will say it is a full circle moment for me because Mount Rainier National Park is where I had my first adventure elopement and fell in love with elopements. And now just coming back as a full-time elopement photographer who's now doing an elopement photography podcast was pretty epic and special to me. So you'll see in the episode, we are filming in a really cold and windy place. So you'll see us get slowly colder and colder over time. And the beginning of the episode has a really funny blooper. So enjoy watching all of that. Anyways, before we get into it, let's start with our tradition here of a win of the week and a life update. Win of the week goes out to Julia Mina. She just got published with Rock and Roll Bride. Her photos were absolutely amazing. She posted it on her Instagram. The photos are of an elopement that was done at Calvera's Big Tree Park. And it was just so unique and beautiful. You guys have to see it for yourself. You can see it on her Instagram at Julia Mina Photo. Again, congratulations, Julia, and well deserved. Let's move on to life updates. Again, I just got back from Mount Rainier National Park. Jamie and Trevor's elopement was so incredible. We did a sunrise first look. Then we did a short hike to this beautiful waterfall, and we saw deer. You guys, I don't know why, but I was literally praying that we would see deer that morning. I just wanted wildlife pictures, and they showed up. They were like literally paid actors, and I was so happy they were there. Anyways, I digress. After that, they did a Hawaiian lei exchange, which was super special because their friend had actually made both of their leis for them, and it was so beautiful. And then we hiked back down to meet with their families, and we did a short hike with their family to a stunning ceremony location. And that was really special as well because their officiant actually spoke some of the Hawaiian language and incorporated their heritage into their ceremony. So that was super special. And then after the ceremony, we went back to their cabin and did a celebratory dinner that was done by Miere Catering. They did such an incredible job. They did the table design and setup. They had twinkling lights and candles, and they did all the delicious food. So shout out to them. Miere Catering, you did amazing. After we did the celebrations, we went back to Mount Rainier National Park and did a sunset hike back up to the lake in the mountains. And then they did this private vow exchange. And then we ended the night with lantern photos. I just posted those photos. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, just go to my Instagram at Sheryl Anne Photo. Next week, I will be traveling to Big Sur and Henry Cowell Redwoods. Unfortunately, I will not be bringing my baby girl Theo again. I will say this is definitely like the hardest part of being a destination adventure elopement photographer. I feel like at first when I had started my business, I'd love traveling and I would take on any type of travel I can. But now that I have my baby girl, I'm like, kind of just a bit more hesitant to take on a bit more travels. But I do have an amazing group of people that are supporting me. My family is absolutely amazing, and they take really good care of her while I'm away. So I really couldn't do it without them. And I will say that next year she will be coming with me on all my international trips. So that will be super special, just having her come along and not leaving her at home because she's my baby girl. Anyways, that's it for life updates and wins of the week. Let's dive into this week's episode. Hey friends, welcome to the podcast. You are tuning in from Mount Rainier National Park. We just did a crazy hike and now we are at this like beautiful glacier lake, and we'll start the episode with getting to know me. We're cold. We're really cold, but this will be a fun episode. We're literally doing it from the field. We just finished location scouting and we thought it would be fun to do the episode here. Okay.
All right.
So this is, sorry, oh my God, I'm being rude. This is my best friend, Michaela. She helps assist me with some of the elopements, and it's so awesome having her here. And she will be kind of leading the questions today. So,
Right. Okay. All right.
You want to say hi to everyone real quick?
Hi.
Oh my goodness. And also, quick backstory. Me and Michaela met in the Navy. She's still in. And yeah, we've been best friends since then.
Yeah.
So
Inseparable since.
Inseparable since. Oh my God, my mouth is so numb. You guys, this is seriously so cold.
My hands. I'm like stuck like this.
Okay, let's start with
So my first
questions.
question for you is, when do you think your love for photography started?
my love for photography definitely started from a young age. I think my parents kind of instilled that for me. They immigrated from the Philippines, and for them, they probably had like 2 or 3 pictures from their childhood growing up. So for them, they've always wanted to give us what they didn't have. So we literally, me and my 2 sisters always had like a camcorder, a camera in our face growing up, just them documenting our childhood. And it's like so special to look back on. Yeah, that's just been really nice. And it's nice looking at those memories and having that to appreciate. And I'm glad they did that. So I think definitely photography started at a young age. And even now, my parents seriously love doing photography and videography in their own ways. So yeah, definitely got it from them a little bit, I think.
No, that's so great, and to have the memories to look like back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now let's fast forward to college.
Yeah. College. Okay, so I went to University of Illinois. I went on a full ride scholarship through ROTC, and I studied biology, and it's where I met my husband. So yeah, I know. I love it.
Right. Did you go into photography right after graduation?
No, I didn't. I went straight into the Navy as a surface warfare officer. My first tour was on a destroyer in Hawaii, and I oversaw engineering. And then from there, I went to my second ship in San Diego, and I oversaw like IT, so like comms, network, navigational systems. So I'd like never use my biology degree, but that's okay. I think honestly, not having to use my biology degree taught me to be like super flexible and learn to pivot and adapt. And that actually helped me building my business afterwards. So yeah.
Yeah. What else did you do?
So outside of like engineering and comms, I also drove multi-million-dollar ships. And
No big deal.
and I was also a search and rescue swimmer. And yeah, I guess that's kind of it.
Did you deploy?
Yeah, I deployed to 5th and 7th Fleet, which is essentially, we like pulled into ports like Bahrain, Oman. We went to Guam and Singapore and Thailand. So it's pretty cool.
All right. Moving on to your traveling. My next question. You traveled a lot. Did your travels contribute to photography at all?
Oh, definitely. I would say like while I was in Hawaii and San Diego, especially deploying to all these places, like I really wanted to document my travels and adventures. So like I definitely started taking more pictures then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a really nice creative outlet, especially like being in such a high stress, high pressure environment. It was really nice to have this fun creative outlet to focus on.
Yeah. When did you get your first camera?
I got my first camera in 2018. John knew that I really love photography. So for my birthday, we went to Best Buy and he was like, oh, I'll buy you a camera. And we were looking at the camera section and we like literally looked so lost that a guy approached us and he's like, do you know what camera you want? And we're like, no. And he's like, well, I recommend you guys go mirrorless and go Sony. Like they're blazing the trail in mirrorless and they're the future. So definitely go with them. And we trusted him and we bought Sony camera, and I've been a Sony girly ever since. So yeah.
Yep. Tried and true.
Yeah.
Did you photograph weddings right away?
No, I didn't. I just photographed like my adventures and travels, and then I started doing like Navy ceremonies like on the ship, and then I started doing friends after that, and then soon after someone was like, "Why are you doing this for free?" And I was like, "I literally have no idea." And that's when I decided to start my business.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when did you launch your business?
I started my business in 2022 while I was still in the Navy, which was really freaking crazy. I felt like I was literally drinking out of a fire hose at first because it was really hard to balance. I would wake up at 4 a.m., commute an hour to work. While commuting to work, I would listen to like Nathan Chansky and Cassidy Lynn podcasts, and they were my favorite at the time. And I feel like their educational podcast really helped me grow at the time. And then I would have a full Navy work day, and then I would wait in the office until sunset and then do a photo shoot and then drive home another hour and then edit and work on my business until late at night. And then I would go to sleep and start the whole thing over again. So it was a lot of hustling in the beginning, for sure.
Must have been exhausting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah. My next question, when did you shift towards adventure elopements?
That's a fun story. So I shifted toward adventure elopements because I originally started just really doing anything I could get my hands on. So I started with like maternity, families, and friends, and big weddings. And then my friend said, "Hey, could you photograph my elopement?" And it was an adventure elopement in Mount Rainier National Park. So it's really special that we're actually here today.
Full circle.
I know, full circle. It's really awesome. And it was so special. We started with a morning ceremony with their family. We hiked up to this like beautiful turquoise alpine lake that had like the mountains in the back, and it was like surrounded by all these stunning trees, and it was so beautiful. And we did a ceremony with them, and then after that, later in the evening, we hiked up together in Mount Rainier National Park, and we had like a sunset private vow exchange. We did their first dance, and then we like frolics around with lanterns, and it was so special. I never like experienced anything like it. I remember that day just being so happy and in disbelief that wedding days like this could actually exist. And I just had this high ever since then. And I like knew like this was my calling. Like this is what I want to do for the rest of my photography career.
Yeah. And you have a great time doing it.
Yeah, I love it so much. Thank you.
How was doing destination elopements while you were still in the Navy?
It was pretty amazing, to be honest. I had the opportunity while I was still in the Navy to do elopements in Switzerland and Italy and the Redwoods and Mount Rainier National Park, and other locations as well. I think Dominican Republic. So that was really cool. I will say, though, that the most difficult part was that I had to request permission every single time to travel. And we're only allotted like 30 leave days a year.
Right.
Yeah. So I had to like look at my schedule and like use it sparingly and just be really smart where I dedicated each leave day so I didn't like run out. So that was really hard. And then every time you had to travel internationally, you have to like do a lot of paperwork. So that was just a lot. And I hated doing that. And I felt like I was really being held back in my business. And I was just ready to be free and not have to ask permission anymore. So that was like the really hard part.
Yeah, I remember you getting elopements like scheduled, and then you would be like, would I have enough leave time by then?
Yeah.
Doing the math on it.
Yeah, there was a lot of math.
Why did you ultimately decide to leave the Navy over photography?
So the Navy was a really incredible and amazing experience, and I definitely learned a lot from it. I grew a lot as a leader. I grew up as a person. But I think I came to a point where I was like, I think I could do more outside of the Navy. And I think it was time for me to it was just time for me to leave and reach a new milestone. And I felt like that was photography. And to be perfectly honest, like, even though the Navy overall was amazing, and I made like the bestest of friends I've ever had. At some points, it was really toxic, and the lifestyle is just really unsustainable. So I just didn't think that that was something that I wanted to continue doing for another
juggle.
10 years.
Are there any other pressures about jumping into photography?
Oh, definitely. I would say the biggest pressure was like a cultural pressure, just because I am first generation Filipino American. I think in my culture, there's definitely certain definitions of success, which is like you're either a lawyer or you're a doctor or a nurse. So much so that I literally tried going into physical therapy, and I shadowed for like 100 hours, or I even got my EMT certification. And it was just a part of me like felt like this was not the path for me. And deep down, I knew that I wanted to prove to my parents that there are other versions of success and there's other ways to be successful. So I wanted to show them that you could be successful in photography, and you can work hard and make a sustainable, happy life out of it, and have more time for the things you love doing and your family.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge you experienced while building your business?
I would say the biggest challenge that I experienced while building my business was January 2024. I had an ectopic pregnancy rupture, and that was really difficult for me to heal mentally and physically and emotionally. And during that season of my life, I obviously wasn't posting on social media, and all my inquiries went silent. So on top of like me dealing with this physically and grieving, my business was like falling apart. So that was definitely the hardest, most challenging part for me.
Yeah, especially now in time, everyone's counting on like a lot of social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then how did you overcome that?
I overcame that with the help of my business coach, Megan McPhail. It was just an incredible coaching experience. We focused on marketing via other avenues other than social media, which was really nice, which was like blogging and SEO and Google Ads. And once we got that figured out, the inquiries just kind of came back in, and it's been stable since then, which has been awesome.
Yeah, and I think your photos speak for themselves.
Thank you.
How's it like being out of the Navy?
Oh, it's awesome. It is. I love it. I definitely feel like I made the right decision. It's funny. At first, I was like so terrified, but then once I was out, I was really, really happy I made the decision I made. I am able to make my own schedule. I spend all this time with Theo. I have these slow mornings with her, which is incredible and what I've always wanted. So I'm just really grateful that I made that leap. And I don't have to request any permission from anyone to travel, which is really great. And I'm not restricted on leave days, so that's awesome too.
Right. Yeah. How are you balancing motherhood and your business?
I think it's going well. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's really hard. It's definitely an adventure in itself, but balancing motherhood and my business has been like this wonderful yet humbling experience. I definitely could not do it without my family's support. And I think it's just really awesome that I'm able to like bring her on some of my adventures, which has been great. So yeah, I really like it.
All right. And where are you going next?
I'm excited. My 2026 schedule is really fun. I'll be going to Patagonia, Glacier National Park, Japan, the Redwoods, and Norway are some of the spots I'm going next year. So I'm super stoked.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Full schedule again. That's all the questions I have for you.
Yay! Thank God, because it's really cold. All right, if you guys have any other questions that you want to get to know me more, feel free to DM me and send it my way. We are about to hike down before sundown. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. And that's a wrap for this week's episode and getting to know me. If you guys get anything from this episode other than getting to know me as a person and photographer, just understand that your path doesn't need to look anything like mine or anyone else's for that matter. Maybe you are still working a full-time job that no longer fits you. Maybe you're also a mother learning how to balance business with a family. Maybe you've also experienced loss while trying to build your business. Maybe you feel that weight of cultural or family pressure to take on this more traditional path. And maybe you're just scared to take the leap, or maybe you're just figuring things out one step at a time. Wherever you guys are, you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And if there's one thing I've learned from Navy, from loss, from building my business, and from becoming a mom, it's that you can adapt. You can learn new things. You can do hard things, and you can build a life that it feels true to you, even if it feels different from what you once imagined. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say, you guys. Thanks again for joining me for this episode and letting me share my story. If this episode resonated with you in any way, please share it to your stories and tag me. I'd love to cheer you on. And don't forget to subscribe. Until then, stay inspired, stay adventurous, and most of all, stay epic. Thanks for tuning into the Epic Podcast. If you love today's episode, don't forget to follow the show, leave a review, and share it with a friend who could use a little inspiration. You can connect with me on Instagram and TikTok at Sheryl Anne Photo or at Epic Photo Podcast for more stories, tips, and behind the scenes from life as an elopement photographer. Until next time, stay epic.